And your musculoskeletal system is your gateway to a happy, healthy and probably longer life. So tensioning and torsioning your musculoskeletal system is the most effective way of regulating your brain, without doubt. You have to still stick to the.
You're talking about the muscle that is like the closest to your bones, the skeletal muscle.
Well, in every end point of a muscle, you have a connection with a neuron, innervated muscle, and they appear at the top of your bones. But the whole muscle is, when you voluntarily recruit muscle, so when you pick up a dumbbell, your recruitment is however much it needs to be in order to do that.
Right.
When you put stimulus in, you can design a waveform to stimulate it in various ways.
Got it.
So in the program I've got on my phone, because I use this suit, not every day, and again, it's wrong to talk about the technology like this as a habitual thing you need to do. You can do it in phases, you can do it in programs, but it's good for an approach to using over a period of time that you want to train. You can train without it if you want, and it's a technology that will adapt to what you want to do, or you can follow a program. But essentially, it's putting that physiological stimulus in, it's optimizing the promotion of other physiological functions through that innovation and stimulus onto the musculoskeletal system. Now, inside you is your most promotable elements. You've got your blood-brain barrier that is very fussy and quite individual actually in every human being. What can't be argued with unless there's, a genetic issue with you, which can be identified. So if you can promote those functions, all the more better, recruiting the muscle and getting stronger, but also promoting those hormones, the secretions of hormone and extracellular vesicles that sort of cross cells that move between, cross molecules that move between cells, and promote them up into your brain in a more effective way than you can do by voluntary alone. Then that is going to have a very good effect on other core elements of your physiological function. So these are where I've become extremely interested in the technology. It's not just the fact that by using it you can achieve the stronger, fitter, faster, the fat loss, the cardiovascular health, whatever, every element of fitness that you want, the technology can be used to promote. But essentially by stimulating your musculoskeletal system. So when I describe the musculoskeletal system as a gateway, and you probably need to include neuronal in here, because of the latest research from the University of Illinois is definitely indicating that innervated muscle is more effective at promoting these hormones and secretions of extracellular vesicles. That's your gateway as such. And what people tend to sort of go down the line of is, well, it's one padlock with a key. No, it's not. It's a combination lock. And some of the combination numbers are good nutrition, good sleep, healthy balance in your social existence, including good relationships or whatever. All of those are absolutely key factors. You need to remain on those pillars. But one of the most effective ones you can actually directly influence, and that puts their numbers in bold, is that stimulus onto your musculoskeletal system. And we recently did a paper for people involved in spaceflight, the space community, relevant to institutions like NASA and ESA, and gained their attention very, very quickly. Because what it is a technology that can be put into almost any garment. The membrane is unique; it can be rendered into any garment. And we haven't stopped innovating. We're looking at various communities that definitely have challenges.
So this stuff could essentially be implemented into like astronauts' spacesuits, and
only they could ever say whether that is feasible or not. But
is that why they were interested in it?
No reason why not. Well, there's no reason why not. So I think with any technology, even a non-invasive one, and a wearable and a trusted one, you have to look at it. You have to ensure that it's doing what you need it to do for your particular challenges. And the spaceflight community are a really interesting lot, because they're the very epitome of humans going beyond their biological limits in what they aspire or need to do for their professions. Right. It's absolutely stark. And once you go into a microgravity atmosphere, which you're not well adapted to, the decline is extremely quick. and it's very, very hard to mitigate that damage.
You mean you're talking about like bone density?
Mainly muscle mass and bone density.
Muscle mass and bone
Once
density.
you lose muscle mass and bone density, you start having a compromised endocrine function,
Yes.
and physiological functions in concert. All this needs to be harmonious, right? It's all as important as each other.
So one of these suits that you could wear with these devices that stimulate the muscle could essentially mitigate the bone density loss and the muscle mass loss.
So there's a number of ways you can promote bone density. So nutrition is always there as the first one, but not necessarily the most effective. And then you've got, the go out running, and that's called that's piezoelectric effect. So as your heel is hitting the floor, your body turns the mechanical force of that impact onto the floor into electrical charge within your iron gateways and promotes it into your bones. So that promotes bone density. The problem with impact, of course, is
stress.
Over time it will impact your joints, but that's not a good reason to stop doing running. And certainly, running is one of the most effective ways. And the third one, I mean, there's other minor ones, is tensioning and torquing your muscular skeletal system. So the stronger your muscles are and the stronger their contractions against the bones, that's developing that bone density growth effect as well.
Right.
And what's important in this is not just that bone density is really, really important, but there's a lesser known hormone called osteocalcin, I think only really identified in 2004, that lies within the bones.
What?
Osteocalcin.
Osteocalcin.
Calcin.
Okay.
And so even the bones are really important in your other physiological functions within your body, including your neurological function. So all of it needs to happen in harmonious concert. None of it is going to be, if you're training but not eating and sleeping, it'll mitigate it for a bit, but you'll end up in a bad place. If you're eating, not sleeping but training, the whole thing has to be looked as a number of disciplines all put together. Right. Socialization, music, all of these are key aspects of ensuring your neurological balance.
Right.
Another way of looking at it is emotional stability, right? So how you behave, your emotions that you display in reaction to the things that are happening to you, that's core to indicating on how healthy your brain is working, how fit it is,
right.
How mentally fit you are. If you're out of emotional balance on everything, or you're acting like basically a stone to everything you come across, that is an indication. And then going back to my changes in behaviour in number 2 phase, that's what I've become really, and I was not emotionally sympathetic to anything. It's like that can be quite hard, and it's not. Sometimes people say, "Oh, well, that's what you've got to be in order to continue to do your job,"
right?
And that can almost be a bit of a misnomer. Yes, it is. Of course, you're controlling yourself emotionally, and you're not going to it's not going to be a good thing to go down into a sentimental pool of whatever else, but not being emotionally intelligent around how you behave around other people is also not indicating a good level of mental health,
right.
Mental fitness rather. And I deliberately call it mental fitness because you have the ability to change it, right? And through all of those stimuluses in your other functionings, promoting physiological function, promoting brain-derived neurotrophin factors, so neurotrophic factors, nerve growth factors that will move through your bloodstream. They'll end up in your brain. They play a very, very important role in regulating everything that happens up there. And you've got a family of glial cells called astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, and microglial cells. Astrocytes are responsible for expression, and they inhibit certain sort of cellular interactions in the brain, and key expression and signaling particularly in your dendritic areas, so the ends of the neurons themselves, the end of the synapses. And then you've got oligodendrocytes that rebuild the myelinated sheath that I alluded to earlier, which is, if you take the axon, that's where the signal comes down. The myelin sheath is rebuilt by the oligodendrocytes. That is key to the conductor of the signals that move along it, right? And then you've got finally microglial cells, which are like the brain's janitor. So it goes around and it cleans out all of the detritus and cleans out bad proteins that have existed. So if you look at, they've got a key function in Alzheimer's, for instance, and if they aren't performing their role or in any way inhibited in their role because of inflammation or because of whatever else is going on there, and they're really, really not sure about the causal effects of this, but the process is absolutely essential,